mission number one accomplished. All right, guys, we'll kick off. As just mentioned, this webinar is demonstrating integration with Dropbox. First, a confession, not being a heavy user of unstructured documents, this was probably pretty hard for us to develop in-house. Our first pass at it, while getting all the complicated technical bits done, wasn't what our main user base wanted, so we've reverted to what they wanted, and that's what I'll be demonstrating today. But first, I'll just explain our initial concept, which we're going to add in as a subsequent enhancement to this, but be interested in broader feedback, potentially for a greenfield site, a new client that doesn't have a lot of embedded existing processes. But yeah, our first pass was that essentially you would be able to have your entire sort of document set on a project able to be synchronized with Dropbox following the UniPhi template structure. And so you can see when I've hit tick on this, it's got saved to Dropbox. Initially, that was just there, and you'd be able to, maintain a synchronized data set of your documents that exist in UniPhi with your documents that exist in Dropbox. The folder structure of that was generated dynamically, and it was based on, for a non-contractual document, being just the folder of the template, so to be project and then template name, and then the document name. And then for contractual documents, it was the supplier or principal, depending on the relationship. If it was a revenue contract, the principal. If it was supplier cost contract, the supplier. And then the template name, and then the document. And that was auto-generated, and it would just synchronize like that. The interesting thing is the main people who came to us with a request to synchronize with Dropbox had a more nuanced view, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate today. And that nuanced view is essentially the end user being able to define where a document goes that aligns to their particular structure of Dropbox. So the folder structure that exists in Dropbox for each client that uses UniPhi is going to be different and doesn't align with the way that UniPhi has been set up to structure document data capture. So to demonstrate that, if I was to create a new document in here, and let's try benchmark, and it's a one-step document, which is nice and simple, and all it's doing is bringing in one piece of information. But as people who have used UniPhi before would know, each document is different based on the template design, can have more and more steps here on the right-hand side. I get to the finish, and I publish, and as soon as I've got it into a publishable format, I'm able to save to Dropbox, as well as email, or save as PDF, or just view. And so when I click Save to Dropbox, it's just going to do this particular document. I've already logged into Dropbox. If you hadn't done that before, it would have popped up a login screen first. And this is the folders that exist in the Dropbox that I'm syncing with. And I would select the project and the directory structure that I wanted to put this document into, and then click upload, and it's now pushing that UniPhi document to Dropbox. Helps if I remember which folder I did select. I think it was PMP. So if I then go to the Dropbox interface and go to that project and go to the PMP, there's the benchmark document that, as it says there, was just created 55 seconds ago. So that's one document at a time. As you can create it, you can then push it to the relevant folder. Now, I can see potentially if you're collaborating around design and you wanted to then share tender documents that included design drawings with a suite of contractors, and you wanted to publish that to Dropbox for them to do that, rather than have them have a team member log into UniPhi to access that, then you could just push that document set to Dropbox, and they could access it through there. So that's one use case that I can think of. A consultancy that uses UniPhi also has quite an extensive Dropbox folder structure as well for their QA. It was what they had before they acquired UniPhi and rolled it out, and so they're wanting to keep a more broader synchronization. And so within that, what you could do is within the portfolio, or sorry, project dashboard of documents, you could select the relevant template that allows you to bulk push. Most of these are not published, so I'll just change their status. And there we go, most of them changed now, so most of them are open for review. So now, instead of having to do one document at a time, I could do that entire progress payment document set, save to Dropbox, pick the progress payment folder that I have, wherever that's located in here, and it might just be for the contractor. So again, when you select progress payment, I'll just cancel that for a sec, you can see that you do get the supplier come in. So if these are sortable data grids, if you sorted on that and you had a folder for the KPS construction services contract, you could then tick just those two, save to Dropbox, but you're doing more than one. Go in there, progress payment recommendations, and upload. And that's now done. Accidentally closed my Dropbox. So go back into that project and into the progress payment recommendation, and again, that new set. Well, maybe I went to the wrong folder, but the new set would be there. One of the things that's worth sort of getting some feedback on is when you've uploaded other documents into UniPhi, it doesn't bring those across as their own discrete documents. It puts them embedded into the PDF. And so if I open this particular document in Adobe, you'll see on the paperclip here that there's a file here that was uploaded into this document. So again, a question of how we structure that and how we link the unified document that's the container with the files that have been uploaded when you push that to the UniPhi system. So you can't see that little notepad file that's been uploaded into this document. The only way you can see that is if you open the UniPhi document. So again, another one for conversation. The good thing about this is that, as I said, we had a totally different sort of workflow of using this synchronization with Dropbox on Monday afternoon, and it's 36 hours later and we've completely changed it. So now that we've got that sync and that all of the sort of technical aspects of that communication set up, how it works and the workflow of using this is really open to you guys, the users, and we'll be very interested in your feedback, because it's not something that internally we have a lot of knowledge or feelings about. We're not very precious about it because we don't use unstructured documents in our business. So, and we see this problem as being a dying problem. The Power BI embedded that I've demonstrated on a previous webinar, and other things that enable us to publish more and more information online, should be meaning that the dreaded compiled PDF is a thing of the past. I give it a 5-year time frame, but I'm a bit over optimistic, perhaps 10, and there'll be no such thing as a PDF. But in the meantime, you've got these existing problems, and we're trying to support our users with that. And that's basically the two methods of synchronizing your folder, your documents in UniPhi with a folder structure that you've got in Dropbox. And so as is published when we advertise these webinars, these are short webinars to demonstrate new functionality in 15. That's all I've got to show with regards to that. The configuration of how you connect UniPhi to Dropbox will be through these new apps subfolders. And so you can see Dropbox integration and Power BI embedded are there, and we'll be publishing some IT instructions to assist your inhibitors of technology to perhaps set that up for you, and away you go. You'll also see that the API documentation to assist with your Power BI embedded is now published as part of your application as well. So you can use these, and I'll be doing some training sessions throughout September, as well as some webinars in September on how you use these with your Power BI desktop file to generate your new dashboard reports. So there's some extra menu items that are coming in as a result of the UniPhi 15 integrations that we've done. Just unmuting everyone. I can take any questions if there are any, or opinions. I'm sure there's some things we've done wrong there and we're interested to hear. I think if everyone, Murray, say something. Did I unmute everyone?
I can hear you.
Ah, good. Any questions?
No, not from me. At this stage, I'll have a review of it when you upload the training video again, because I missed a little bit of it, and I'll come back.
Yeah, cool. I think probably the bit you might have missed was just at the beginning when you create a document. You know, as usual, creating a document in UniPhi, same process, but when you get to the finish step and you publish it, a save to Dropbox button comes there, so you can just push it straight away to your Dropbox structure. So this is your Dropbox folders. The one I was showing, I've been using the online interface for Dropbox because I don't actually have this particular Dropbox account in my Windows Explorer, but if you did, you'd be able to access, you know, go to your own Dropbox here, but that's my own personal Dropbox, not corporate. So I was accessing the corporate Dropbox interface, which is this one here, and then basically browse to any of the places that you've pushed that to, which again I forgot where I did push it to. Say payment schedule, and we'll go into payment schedule, and there it is there. Anyone else got any comments about that? Would anyone synchronize based on template names to a folder in Dropbox?
I think that I would if I didn't have a decent WBS set up, but I think I'd like everyone else. As a general practical thing, we'd probably just set our own folder structure up generally.
That'd be different to where other templates are, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as a vanilla user of Dropbox, all I'd want to be doing is spitting those docs out in a way that an external party can take them. So it makes sense to have that basic folder structure being as an option. But
yeah, cool.
Again, it's not going to make or break anything for me. It's adding a couple of button clicks to name some things anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, short meeting's a good one, especially at lunchtime, although it's past lunch for our New Zealand attendees, and I appreciate you logging in. If there's no other questions going once and going twice,